Hello everybody and welcome back to Alma, Missouri. Episode number 6, this one. It's been a few days since I've recorded the last one, I'm not going to lie. But I am back now. I am back and hopefully some sort of normal schedule. It's been hard work. Even with the kids back to school, it's not as easy as that sometimes, is it? Life takes over. Now you will notice I've started here just for a little bit of difference. I've popped some extra flags in at cost to us. That's why the money's gone down ever so slightly. But what I want to do is just represent every country that I've been in on the channel, and I'll put a flag down. So I'll try and maybe do the same thing in Keep It Real. But so far that's where we've been. Now there isn't actually a Polish flag, so it should have one more flag than that really. But what I would like to do, kind of an overall goal, I guess maybe that's a milestone. I would like to visit every single country in terms of where maps are created. So potentially have a flag for each one. So, you know, there's some obvious ones. I think there's a couple of Australian maps around now. Definitely Brazilian maps. So we're going to go that way at some point soon. That will probably be Keep It Real Series 2 eventually, whenever that comes. But yeah, it would be absolutely brilliant to visit every different area of the world in terms of where the farm sim maps are created anyway. Now, normally I skip through to the next month at the beginning of every episode just before I hit that record button, but I haven't this time around. We're still in November, the same month as the last episode. That is because I got a little bit carried away with doing the building and doing the little area where we've got some cars ready for the helpers to join in, which I do think looks really cool, by the way, so I can't wait to get someone in. But yeah, what I didn't do, one of the main things I wanted to do is buy the bakery, because if I just skip through now, I'm wasting time, aren't I? I need it to start producing some bread, especially as I believe January is the best time to sell it. So we're going to go here, we're going to visit this and have, there we go, have a look to see if we've got some flour, which we definitely have. In fact, that's produced flour a heck of a lot faster than I thought it would, actually. Maybe I just didn't read it properly. What does it do? Okay, yeah, 158 flour times by 120 per month, I suppose. Yeah, that's going to produce a lot. That's like 17,000 litres a month, maybe. So that makes sense, doesn't it? We've got 10,000 litres there stored on top of this. It's quite a lot. That's a heck of a lot, to be honest with you. So, bakery is over there. We need to buy that. And we need to manually get some of this flour over to that bakery to start producing the bread. So let's wander over there now. Now, I did see a while ago, I don't know if it was in relation to this exactly, but the whole distributing thing doesn't work too well on this map. I would have to try it. I don't know if it was talking about the grain mill to the bakery, or whether or not it's just the bakery actually distributing, but we'll yeah, we'll see. Worst case scenario, we'll just have to manually do every single pallet, which will get a bit tedious, it'll get a bit annoying, but you won't see that. I'll just cut that out. I'm pretty sure do this without markers. It was here somewhere when I checked. There we go. 60,000. I didn't even look at how much money we got, but we need it. There's no way around it. So we are now the proud owners of the bakery, which I'm going to rename. I think I'm going to call it the Travaskis Pasty Shop. I think that would be pretty cool. But anyway, before I waste time doing that, I think I don't like let's stick the interactive zone markers on real quick. Okay, right, so that's where we've got to put the flour, in that area, and that must be where the bread's going to start spawning. Potentially only 2 or 3 pallets at a time that's going to spawn. Not sure, we might have to keep on top of that. One thing I think we're going to need to invest in at some point is a forklift. To keep here, it will live here. And, I mean, fortunately, there's plenty of room here to put a vehicle in to load it onto. But that is something we will definitely do manually. It won't be set to auto selling, that is for sure. Now, I'm just going to set... I don't normally like doing this, but I am going to set this option here to distributing. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. I don't know how fast it will work. I mean, potentially it won't start working until the next day. Now let's deactivate all of these, save a few dollars here and there. We'll keep the bread ready to go, but it is missing materials. So I'm assuming it hasn't started distributing yet. No, so we're going to have to manually do that. I'll turn those annoying markers off quick before I forget. That's better. So one of the reasons why buying a tractor with a front loader was such a priority. So we'll have to drive that over here, load up a few pallets, get them popped into here. Get some money rolling. Get some money rolling. Right. I was going to walk then, but I don't need to. I can teleport, can't I, in this series? So we're going to head over now. We'll have a little drive over, load these pallets up. So while I'm doing the drive, I hope everyone is well. Apologies, I'm kind of on and off a little bit. I feel like I've been relatively consistent recently, but I think the aftermath, the half term, and then the aftermath of half term is it's taken its toll, and then obviously extra things going on at work. Lots of changes of shifts, lots of different days off, potentially even working additional days. You know, 6-day weeks at the minute. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit tricky, but we're getting there. It's balancing off a little bit more now. So I hope you liked the last episode. Do you know, I had to give, it's funny really, I don't mind, but I had to give, I believe, 50% of the money I made on that last video, which was probably about about £5. So I had to give half of that direct to Queen, which I quite liked actually. Not the Queen, of course, she wouldn't need to spend any money anymore, but Queen is in the band. Because of that, I don't know, 30 seconds of backing track piano of Bohemian Rhapsody. It's funny really, I didn't even think that it would have the ability to recognise that that was actually part of the piano of that song, because it wasn't from the actual song, but it still recognised it, still linked it. So there we go. I'm guessing if I used the actual song, I would have had to give up all of the monetization for the video, but because it wasn't from the actual song, it was genuinely from a piano, I only had to give half. But that's kind of funny, isn't it? Reason I did it as well, it was pretty much, I did mention it, it's pretty much 1 year, just slightly over 1 year since losing my stepdad. So that was his favourite song. That was his favourite song. He even played it kind of midway through his funeral, in fact. And it probably is my favourite song, you know, because it's just such a unique song. So yeah, I thought I just had to go in. I'll just slip it in there somehow. And as soon as there was a nice looking piano as part of that house, I thought that was the obvious thing to do. Now anyway, hopefully I don't make too much of a mess of this. Try and lift it slowly. I reckon even just putting 2 pallets in, just to get the ball rolling, would probably be enough. Maybe I'll load 4 pallets in there while the tractor's down here. These should make some real serious money, by the way. I've said it before, but a grain mill and a bakery, I just feel is a go-to. Definitely. If you're playing something competitive where you want to kind of outplay someone else or outdo someone else to make more money, this is such an easy way. There's not really any work involved with it at all. It doesn't take a lot to harvest grain. It's probably the kind of easiest. Where have I got to put these? Do I just need to come out of the way? I could have sworn it was there. Let's pop that back on. Oh, come on. Are they literally? It's like a couple of centimeters. That's all I had to do. Yeah, no, it's just so easy. It's easy to do grain. You know, anyone who's played Farming Simulator would know how to harvest grain. And then all you've got to do is get it into that grain mill, or any grain mill, and then just that one single product produced from that one single input produces one single product at another production without really any hassle at all. As soon as you get into having to grow 2 things to make one product, it doubles the work, doesn't it? So this is just a no-brainer. About £5,000 per 1,000, I think, in January. The bread's going to sell for 5,000 per 1,000. So already we're putting, well, we've just put 4,000 in. I think 2 flour makes 1 bread. So we've now got, just from doing this, 2,000 litres of bread. So that's 10 grand already, in theory. So regardless of what else we do now, in January, in 2 episodes time, we've got 10 grand just pumped in, just like that. Once it gets going properly, it's going to be hundreds of thousands. Definitely. Hopefully this kind of distributing thing does start working. The map's not had an update since I had that comment, so I don't know whether or not this is actually going to work. Part of me's hoping, because I've kind of put a little bit of bread into that production, it will kind of, I don't know, somehow create the link for it maybe. But it certainly doesn't seem to be distributing any product as of yet. In fact, while that's unloading, let's just have a quick look. Where am I going? Here we are. So yeah, in terms of the flour input, the incoming materials is basically 4,000, which is the 4 pallets we've put in. So this is not distributing anything to that bakery currently. In fact, you can see that the outgoing product section is still going up. It's not going down, which it should do. Distributing, it should be going down quite fast actually. So it currently isn't working. I don't know why. I don't know why. Right, so for a minute, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll park this up and leave this at the grain mill, because we might, if it uses up all of that flour we've put in there, we might need to move a little bit more over actually, ready for the following episode. That will be ready for episode 8. So we'll just leave this just in front. Health and safety, of course. Better lower the forks, and there we go. Now, one thing I do want to do in this episode as well, I want to get the money flowing, but I also want to buy the little chicken crate. Let's have a look what we got in here. Ironically, there is actually a forklift, but I ain't going to buy it because I don't need it. It's 25 grand and I'm getting a bit too carried away, I think, on this series, so I'm not going to buy it. Not just yet. Eventually, though, we will need a forklift. I don't like, if I'm honest, I don't like that forklift. It is awful. Yeah, I think that's one of the worst forklifts actually. So I'd rather not buy that one, that's for sure. Now, in here, I think it was in animal transport, because of course, as you know, I always like to transport the animals. Yeah, we'll get this. So it's 8 chickens at a time. So I'm just going to buy it now. I'm going to buy 2 of those. And drive to wherever the animal market is, which I don't actually know where it is, if I'm honest with you. But we will drive there and pick up some chickens. But I do need to remember I need to skip a night, don't I? I do need to skip the night. Let's have a quick look. So it's just there, I'm guessing, yeah? That's the sale point. That's the animal dealer. Okay. Fine. So the truck I actually left up here, didn't I? Okay, right. So we're going to go back to the house while I remember. We'll visit that one. We'll go to sleep. Skip it forward that night. Turn those interactive zone markers off again. Good. Right, sleep now. Let's just sleep through till 8. Why not? Wow. It is very dark this morning. And I left the door open. It's not good for the heating, is it? Let's get some lights on in this house. Nice. I love it. I love this mod, by the way. It is a great mod. Save some electric. We don't need the bedroom on, do we? Not the spare room. Right. I did... Oh dear. I did notice... it started... The snow has started. Hopefully you can see it. I know YouTube's rendering's a bit funny sometimes when it's a bit dark, but it's not settling. Oh, I forgot about this. I've been warned about this so many times. Is the snow really that bad? Oh no. Yeah. So I thought maybe I'm not going to need a helper for a little while. But actually, if the snow is as bad as what I've been warned, I'll probably need a helper just to help me clear the snow. Right, I need to keep an eye open 4 salt spreaders, don't I? Anything in the shop? It's not even changed. Brilliant. Right, we're going to drive down. We'll go for a little cruise. I love this pickup truck. I really do. I'm sure I said it already. But I really do love it. Right, let's head on down. We'll just check in to see how that bakery's doing. I mean, in theory, it was kind of midday in November, so we've skipped sort of half a day. So there should be a pallet of bread outside, I would have thought. As long as I actually turned it on properly. There should be a pallet of bread. And I'm curious to know if the flour has started to distribute itself as well. It would be handy if it is. Would be. What are you stopping for? Oh dear, come on. Just brake checked me then. Right, so here we are. Has it produced anything? Oh yes. It's produced 3 pallets in fact. Maybe it'll only do 3 at a time. What is it actually showing? Let's have a look. Oh, there's actually 22,000 litres, just over, of flour in there now. So it is distributing, yeah? Ah, amazing. So it's working. So it's only got 130 litres in there. That's fine. So it's doing what I want it to do. But this, of course, bread will be kept to store, and that's our own problem to sell that. And obviously I'll try and sell it at the right time as well. So we've produced, these are 1,000 a pallet, yeah? Yeah, it looks like we can move, no, we can't move them. So there's 3,000 litres of bread there. Let's just while I'm in the mood, just remind myself, I'm pretty sure that we're looking at 5k per pallet. Even now, in fact. So in January, it's maximum £5,500. We've got 3 pallets there. Amazing. So you're talking like $16,500 worth of bread by the next month. Maybe a little bit more. Might even have an extra pallet. I don't know. That's good. Such an easy way. What effort have I put into doing this? I've basically not put any effort into doing that, and we're going to be flying. Times that by 10. Yeah. Amazing. Right. Anyway. Now that I've clarified that has worked, which is amazing, let's get on with what we were actually planning to do. Now, these are liftable, which is fantastic. So we'll lift those straight in. They're even liftable with chickens in, which I think is realistic anyway. I wonder if I could actually get away with buying another one. I don't know. What do they do? 8, 16? I don't actually know how many chickens the thing holds, but two's fine, isn't it? I think 2 will be alright. Let's strap them down so they don't move. Right, head off to that animal dealer and just buy a load of chickens. Obviously we don't have the option for kind of chicks or newborns or anything like that in terms of animation, because crossplay only. I think the enhanced animal mod is definitely a scripted PC mod, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Now where was it? It's here somewhere. It's over there, I think. Do you know, it's funny, I turned the interactive zone markers off, but I'm pretty sure that animal, yeah. Why does that always stay on? Every map. Is that me? Does that happen to anyone else? Every map. That icon is just there all the time. Right, let's fill one of them up with the young ones. Good. And then let's buy... Right, let's get 1 rooster, just for realism's sake. And the rest of them can be the grown-up ones, yeah? So 7 of those. Cool. Right, let's get these back in. Bit of a strange moment then with that mod. I don't know what that was all about. I'll load them all back up. And obviously we've got the grain ready to go, haven't we? The grain is just in a silo doing nothing, just kind of wasting away currently, so good. Is it going to let me back in? There we go. Okay, here we are. So, let's jump out, de-strap those chickens, and hopefully somewhere here. Where is that animal dialogue? Yeah, maybe we need to put them a bit closer. Or throw them. That works, doesn't it? Good. Right. So, select them, and we want to move 7 to the husbandry. No, move 8 to the husband. There we go. That was weird. Right, and we'll just pop that. Oh, I don't know. It can just go there, can't it? Out of the way. Same again. Let's get these out. Good. Right. So I think the roosters don't actually. They're not needed. I know that for definite. You don't actually need them to produce new chickens. But I do feel that they kind of create a little bit more movement. I think they run around a little bit more when there is a rooster. I don't know. I don't know if that's just something I made up in my head, but... Right, let's get them some grain sorted. I don't believe I can use the back of this pickup as a kind of a small grain holder. I don't think I can, actually. But while I'm here... let's at least park it up properly, and now I can start to park it in the middle. I haven't got to worry about trying to turn it around all the time in this tight little bit of yard. And try not to take out all the mirrors. But that works pretty good. Nearly took out the new garage door. Right, I better turn the lights off. There we go. Wonderful. Right, let's head on down. So we'll have to use... well, we'll have to use the absolutely huge, overpowered John Deere tractor just to put a very, very small amount of grain into those chickens. But it's fun. Now, I have, of course, buried the auger tank. That's all that we've got at the minute. I will eventually buy some form of very small trailer. I think it'd just be easier to manage some things around the farm. But for now, we don't have a choice. Let's, in fact, let's pop that into this one. I do need to figure out which grain trailer is the correct one. What am I talking about? I need to figure out which header trailer is the correct one, so I can actually detach that header, because I'm wasting a heck of a lot of storage space there just by having that harvester with the header still attached. So, got to figure it out, and then we'll find somewhere else to park that. It's going to be a dolly, isn't it? Oh, I know, it's just going to be a dolly. I'd rather it wasn't, but what can I do? What can I do? Good, right, let's try and get it in underneath here without damaging too many sheds. Right, what have we got? There should be sorghum. Yeah, we'll empty the whole amount out, because this will be a good little test of how much that kind of small little chicken coop actually holds. But there's no way I'm going to get this through the garage entrance. Oh, I nearly just ran over a deer then. Did you see that? That wouldn't have been good. Yeah, we're going to have to drive around this way, aren't we? Oh, this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. Okay. It's going to be very tight. But, actually, the auger pipe comes out the other way anyway. So, I am better off doing this in reverse. We definitely need a smaller trailer. I can't do this every time. This is... yeah, it's not actually much smaller than the gateway. And fortunately, you don't actually hurt chickens when you do this, because this would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Now let's open pipe out. There we go. And I'll just wait for that to open so I can see exactly where the trigger starts. I've never used this one before, this chicken coop. I have seen it used. I'm pretty sure that Dagman's used it. So I know it looks cool. But yeah, I've never used it myself. So where do you actually unload grain? Okay. Is it actually even going to let me? It's not a very good start. There we go. And it doesn't take very much at all, which is a bit annoying maybe. 1,500 litres of grain. Oh dear, yeah. We need to come up with a solution to that because I cannot use the auger wagon every time I want to do that. So keep our eyes open for some form of, wow, just small trailer. Right, what we've got left can go back in there. I'm sure it's better off in the silo, especially over winter when the snow's starting. There we go, back into the shed. I might have bumped it then, maybe, but you didn't see nothing. Good. Right. Turn the lights off. We'll just leave that connected. Okay, good. Not too bad actually, I think, so far. So we've got some chickens, not a huge amount. In fact, what's the maximum I can have? Doesn't tell you, does it? Let's just go up and have a look. I want to say I think I just seen the number 40 somewhere. 60. It holds 60. That is a lot, isn't it? Considering you can only put 1,500 litres of grain in. That would be a constant task if you had 60 chickens. But it probably won't be long before we do have 60 chickens. You know what these are like for breeding. I am kind of glad as well that they do sort of wander off into the roadway. I think that looks cool, doesn't it? That's just a cool little touch. Yeah. Ideal. Right, so that's a bit of side income, but potentially more for long term in the bakery. We'll have those eggs. Now, talking of the bakery, let's just have a quick sanity check. Make sure it is still doing alright. Where am I looking? There it is. So we have got, in fact, it would be better to do the sanity check in this, wouldn't it? I just want to know if it actually produces or puts outside of it more than 3 at a time. So I'm going to speed the time up to 10. It was a little bit slow anyway. But speed the time up to times 10. And just while the time's moving on a little bit, we'll just take a couple more of these pallets over there. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That was shocking. I forget the brakes on this thing are bad. Really, really bad. Well, I just made a bit of a mess of that, but it's fine, I've got two. Nudged all the rest around a bit. That was shocking, but I do like this tractor. It's very detailed, and I think, you know, it's that genuine kind of old school American brand. But I tell you what, the brakes on it are awful. They're really bad. They're really bad. But this is going to come in a lot of use for us. The fact that these tyres on it, they are actually narrow tyres. They came as kind of standard, actually, the narrow ones. But that's going to be so handy for when it comes to, like, spraying, doing the spraying jobs. Yeah. It's a good little tractor. It's a good little tractor. I think eventually it probably will have those twin rear wheels as well. It just seems obvious, isn't it? If those bars are sticking out anyway. Yeah, might as well look cool. Now spraying is something potentially that could be done as well prior to actually seeding, because although I don't know what the official is with the weeding. I think it's something you do afterwards. But you can weed before you plant anything. If you weed, they won't grow back. It kind of covers that weeding aspect for the whole kind of harvest, even if you do it before it's planted. What's happening here? The pallet forks are a little bit sticky. There we go. Maybe that was my bad. Good. Yeah, so as that's unloading, I just want to know this figure here, 415 litres. When that gets to 1,000, will it kind of give us 6? It would be even handier. It would be a lot handier if it even doubled them up height-wise as well. That would be nice. I'll have to keep an eye on that. We're just going to leave that here though. I don't need that for a second. Now, let's just check in the shop. It's still not changed. But then I suppose time hasn't really changed, is it? I need to keep an eye on trailers. Something small. Even just standard base game. That one there, look. 1,600 litres that'll take. That's perfect. Just for kind of the regular maintenance of the chicken. Of the chicken coop. I think that's a good option. I don't really think I've put that many trailer mods on, to be honest with you. Only the big ones. Yeah. So we do need to keep an eye on a little trailer. I wonder if any of those cars that we've got actually... I wonder if that would be a good helper thing to do. Let's have a look in here. Do any of these have a capacity? Because if they did, that would be quite handy, wouldn't it? Although I suppose I'll have to go into miscellaneous to figure that out, wouldn't I? Right, so that one doesn't, no. And that one doesn't, no. That's a shame. That would have been handier. That could have been like a helper kind of whenever anyone's on, help me out with it. But there you go. Okay, so the time is sped up a little bit now, just to see how that pallet does produce. But in the meantime, what I need to do, given that, wow, the snow has not stopped in this episode. I know it's only a couple of hours game time, but I just feel now, is the calm before the storm, literally. Definitely, literally, because I can't see this snow stopping, to be honest with you, and kind of, yeah, the way I've been warned about it, I'm going to start making some preparations. Now, I'm just going to move the numerous bags of lime that we've got. I way overbought on lime, and I'm going to put them actually into the downstairs area of the big barn, the helper quarters, I guess we could call that. Yeah, I'm just going to move those bags. Now really, when I was thinking about it, I should have just bought a weight, shouldn't I, while I was at the shop. I don't know why I didn't do that. That was a bit silly of me, really. But it's fine. We'll do it 2 bags at a time. Get them at least into the dry, anyway, out of the snow. I've got a sneaky feeling when I skip through and load up for the next episode, there's going to be a lot more white stuff than just this tractor. I can't say I've missed it. But it's going to be back soon, isn't it? Right, so hopefully I'm not going to have any issues getting this tractor into here. Nope, pretty good. So I think it's reasonable just to store them up there. Yeah, I can't see how close I am to the wall, but that will do. At least we're making a bit of use out of that barn as well then, rather than it being just for show. Yeah, ideal. Right, let's get the rest of this done, mate. Right, last bag. That's burnt a bit of time. That's definitely burnt a bit of time. Try and get it, there we go. Lovely. Right, so I would have thought by now, if it was going to produce the additional pallet, it would be there by now. So we're going to have to go and double check. Let's just park this back up for a minute. Just before I brought the tractor back, I did move those pallets of flour over to the bakery as well. So in theory, this tractor won't need to go back there for a little while. Well, a couple of episodes. Once we do get through to... Well, I mean, maybe even in the end of the next episode. Yeah, we might need to take it back actually, because we're going to have to sell the bread, aren't we? And we don't actually even have a trailer to take kind of multiple breads. I guess if there's only 4 or 5, we'll get it into the pickup truck. Right, let's head on back to the bakery. Okay, here we are. So, has... Okay, no, it's not produced another... 967 litres. Right, let's just hold off a little minute or two, and hopefully that one will spawn. Now, I do try to end the episode doing landscaping. This one isn't going to be one of those kind of ones, to be honest with you, because I don't really have a lot of landscaping that I want to do. And I am at a point now where I think we've spent enough money on landscaping to get a nice little layout, a nice little looking farm. Now I've got to be a little bit more careful with what I actually buy. What I was hoping to do is just rename the bakery. Now obviously I can't change it. I probably could if this was not crossplay. I reckon I could go on there and switch that logo around with a little bit of editing, but I just want to change the name. Now actually we don't own the bakery. It's quite bizarre really. We just own this kind of random sort of map place sell point. So that is it there. But it won't allow me to rename it, which is annoying. There you go. Well, it's just going to stay as the bakery then. Sorry, Mr. Javaskis, you're not going to have a pasty shop over in America. I don't know. Oh, it has actually produced. Cool. So it's produced 4 wide, so maybe 2 deep. Does it matter too much? Not really. I just know that from a crossplay point of view, it's interesting to know the more pallets that spawn, the more kind of map objects around the map makes it difficult to run. And you have got that slot count, haven't you? Which I never take into consideration. I have an unlimited slot count really, but if any of you guys wanted to come on and help and you're on the kind of the last generation, if that's what you would call it now, the Xbox Ones or the PS4s, it does actually limit the slot count down quite a lot. And I've probably used quite a bit of that slot count up by having all of those parked vehicles up for you to use at the entrance point. So yeah, I do need to keep an eye on that, not get too carried away. Anyway, I think we're good, to be honest with you. I think we're done for now. There's not much more that's going to go on in December. I feel January is going to be white. I just feel it's going to be a bit white. Maybe let's just have one last little sanity check, but there's nothing there. We'll see how it goes this year. Maybe for next year I'm going to have to look at, it'll be the first time I've ever done it, but maybe it'll be worth putting salt down around the yard. Yeah, it'd be nice to do something different like that. We'll see how bad it is. Surely it's not as bad as everyone says. Surely not. I mean, it's been snowing for ages. It's not stuck yet. Favourite last words. Anyway, until the next episode, apologies, they're kind of few and far between at the minute, but I'm getting there. I'm getting back to it now. So until that next episode, cheers and gone.